So today I'm on the couch with Laura Phelan, a good friend of mine and a singing student as well. Today we're going to talk about Laura's journey through music and singing. For me, I feel it's very important that you guys out there get to experience some industry side of coaching as well, but also some direct experience from the students themselves. So first of all, we're going to talk about your background in singing because I think it's very interesting. Laura trained originally in classical training and then came over to more contemporary style. So tell us about your classical background.
Yeah, so I suppose, like most people, I sang, as a kid, and I sang a little bit in school. And then when I was going to go to college, I was asked would I audition for this wonderful teacher in Dublin. And it was in a very classical style, very traditional. So I auditioned when I was about 16, maybe 17. Okay. And she took me on. It was really, really intensive, very different style obviously than what I had sung any other time.
Okay.
So it was very strict training. I would have gone to her like every week for about an hour, hour and a half.
Wow.
Yeah. And
it's a lot for a 17-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, it's something you need to be very sure of, like in terms of a style, because it's very different and it's very particular style. For me, it was like really, really difficult. I got, a very good foundation training, and I attended her for a number of years. I did get to a point then with her and the training that it was, a question whether, am I going to pursue this professionally or not? And for me, it was a difficult decision in one way because I quite enjoyed the structure of the training.
Yes.
And it was, I got a lot of exposure studying with that particular teacher as well, and exposure in the classical singing industry and with professional singers of that time at the top of their game.
That's good.
Yeah, so I had the choice to go there if, obviously if I put the work in and that, and I chose not to pursue that.
That's a big decision.
Yeah, and part of that was really the age I was at. I started quite late in classical singing. Usually you would start a lot younger. And so, I knew my path would be that I wouldn't be professional, at that top level until I was, the age I am now.
We won't talk about that.
Over 30. So, and the other reason was, I suppose, the age I was in my early 20s and I was in college, and, for me, classical singing maybe wasn't the coolest thing I could be doing at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also, unfortunately, had a couple of bad experiences that I let dictate the next almost 10 years of my singing. Yeah, and, I know that happens to a lot of people, and it really carved out my journey for the next 10 years, and unfortunately that journey was without music and without singing altogether. So for me, I went to college and had a great time, and I worked hard, I studied hard, and for me, I have always been a very career-driven person.
Yeah.
But that career has not been in music.
Yes.
So, now, like, I studied business and marketing, and now I run my own business. And so that's always been a passion of mine, but music has always been there.
Yeah, I was going to mention that actually, because you did set up your own business in the last year, event-wise, very good. And you are so busy. You are planning stuff for like 2023, I think, and it's like crazy. Yeah. But you have that passion for that. Yeah. But your singing has always been there. And it's actually very similar to my own journey. When I was doing my PhD, the singing was always this thing that was there. Yeah. And I think it's really important to address it.
Yeah, so for me to address it, I needed to allow myself that time and space. Mm-hmm. And so when I moved to Galway about 5 years ago, and for me it was a decision that I wanted a better quality of life and to allow myself the time and space to do more of my personal life, which obviously was music.
Yes.
So I came to Galway and I looked up, what's the music scene like in Galway, knowing that it's full of arts and music.
Yeah.
So I started taking lessons in SLS, speech level singing. And so really the start of that journey was to get my voice out and get my voice back. Because for me, my voice was very classical, very structured, and very stylized and classical. So if you had asked me, you know, 5 years ago to sing like an Adele song off the radio, I wouldn't have been able.
Yeah, yes.
So I spent a long time training my voice to, as I always say, like, to be my normal voice.
One of the things I find interesting about that is that SLS is quite a strict structure as well in some ways. So for you, the jump from classical to SLS was probably huge, but actually probably the jump from classical straight to the likes of what Joshua teaches is even bigger.
Yeah, I think I needed the SLS bridge a little bit, because I certainly sat into my own voice a bit more. And, you know, at the start I didn't really like it, because, you know, I have, and I know lots of singers have, this thing where, oh, I'm not really good enough. You know, this isn't good enough, because you listen to stuff on the radio, or you have a particular thing that you like, and, you know, at the start it was about getting to know my voice, and I'm still getting to know my voice. And that brings a great level of confidence the more you get to know your instrument. So SLS, as I describe it, brought back down my voice, because my voice would have been resonating quite high and very much head voice.
Getting you choose your speaking voice, which was the basis of the technique anyways.
Yeah. So about 2 years I trained SLS specifically and brought back down my voice. And then there was this explosion.
In 2014.
2014. It feels like a lifetime. And so...
Because you've learnt a lifetime of stuff.
Yeah, so I knew who you were, and then so Caren got in touch with me and told me that this man Joshua was coming to Ireland, and I was actually working that weekend, so I couldn't attend the whole workshop thing. So I just took a lesson with this man Joshua, and I had kind of reached a point with my voice where I was going to my lesson every week. But that's all I was doing, was like, that was my only exposure to singing.
Yeah.
Was in my singing lesson. And part of me was okay with that.
Because it was safe.
It was so safe, and nobody else heard me.
And no one questioned it.
No. And it was fine, and it was, you know, it was fine.
Yeah.
And then, so I went in and I met Joshua for a lesson, and my journey took a complete change. Complete turn. So I walked into that room, and I was quite overwhelmed by Joshua.
I always remember your face, because you kept looking back at me.
I was just like,
oh my god.
Yeah, so I stood really far away from him.
Yeah. Because
I was so overwhelmed, and I was just like, oh God, I'm not good enough to be here. That is a constant thread through my journey.
Yeah.
Of I'm not good enough. So, you know, I'm improving on that I'm not good enough mantra, but so I had my lesson with Joshua, and he blew me away on way more things than just singing. Yeah. And so I spent 1 hour with him. I definitely didn't sing the full hour, obviously, and he said to me, you know, what are the areas you think you need to work on? And I said, like, I don't have a great range.
Oh yeah.
And he was like...
She hits almost every note on the keyboard.
And he was like, really? And I was like, you know... So, you know, he goes through the whole piano and he's like, okay, what's the next problem? You know, so he kind of debunked a lot of myths in my head, because I think if you tell yourself, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, you believe it. Yeah. And then...
One of the things Joshua told me early on was, this is your instrument. And like the piano, we can do all of these notes, but sometimes it's technique, but a lot of the time it's psychological. Yeah. That you think that you can't actually hit all those notes.
Completely.
So working through those with the technique that he uses, I think, and what we try and use at the studio all the time now, is to access those different areas of your voice in a healthier way, in a more natural way, that you can get to hit all those notes.
Yeah, and I mean, Josh gave me a song to sing at that first lesson that I still work on with Josh. But the important thing is to, I suppose, debunk those myths in your head, and so much of it is psychological, and so much of that is to try and appreciate your voice, appreciate what you have. Nobody has my voice.
Yes. I actually want to take a step back now. So, you are highly successful in your career. that you've set up your own business. You are extremely busy working on bookings up until 2020. Laura is also one of a twin.
Yeah.
Your twin does not sing at all.
No.
So, singing for you has been your sense of identity. And falling into a training that is there, your classical and the early SLS, was like, here's your box, this is really easy to be in that box and not figure out who you are. And then now you're thrown into this other style of training, which is very much, who are you? What do you bring in? Where are you? I see you. And it's trying to bring that forward.
Yeah, and it's so exposing. For me,
it's very emotional. It's very emotional.
Yeah, and I'm a very emotional person at the best of times.
Yeah.
So for me, you know, I found this latter half of this new journey.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel I'm only at the start.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, you know, I'm not going to be, I don't want to be Beyonce or Lady Gaga or Sia or whoever. I want to explore who I am as an artist and what my voice can give other people.
And as a person.
Yeah, so in terms of identity, you know, it's been a challenge to
push outside your comfort zone.
Yeah,
as
and
well.
to accept that people may want to receive what I have to give.
Yes.
You know, because it's very difficult to just put yourself out there and to give yourself emotionally and send that message out to an audience. It can be the easy part is to send it out, but to get back what the audience want to give you is really, really hard, and it has taken.
Give it out with your eyes closed.
Yeah.
But to give it out as a communication where they are open to or ready to give something back to you is a different story.
Yeah, and for me, I really feel like I tend to pick songs that I connect with emotionally on some level. Maybe nothing to do with what that artist has tried, but for me, I'm connecting with songs on an emotional level, and so to send my emotion out has been really difficult, and I haven't always wanted to share it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I've started writing as well, and that's through yourself and Joshua, because sometimes I just can't find a song that quite meets what I want to communicate right now. Depending on what you're going through. So, you know, writing has been a good outlet in terms of my identity, but it's equally difficult to share your own stuff, because people interpret it a different way, and to send that out to the world and let people interpret it is difficult.
Yes, yeah.
So, you know, my identity has definitely come out through music, and I have my own style, and there's my own things that I like and that I don't like, and maybe it's the over 30 genre, I don't know, but you know, I'm not very like poppy, happy-go-lucky, you know, but I love a song that tells a story and that really connects with people on a life level, not like, you know, I'm not a big fan of loves and breakups and all that sort of stuff.
All the cheese.
Yeah, do like a bit of cheese, but maybe not to sing it all the time, you know. So for me, you know, as a twin, I've always, like, I won't say I've struggled. We've always tried to have our own identity, and
and you have to. Really,
and we've very different personalities. And when you're treated as a pair all the time growing up, and then we went to college, and you know, you have your own careers and completely different personalities.
Yeah, and you do look so different as well. Occasionally, you take a photograph and you think, oh, they look alike, but most of the time you look really different. Yeah,
so I think even without being a twin, even being a sibling or part of a family unit, or even in a work environment, you still always want to have your own identity in everything that you do.
This is why I think that your story is relevant to a lot of people who would do singing lessons, who may not want to be the Beyonce, but who maybe have a family at home and with kids have lost their own identity in that. Yeah. And I think that explorer music is really important to figure out who you are, what feet you're standing on, where you want to go, and it might be anywhere, but like you never would explore songwriting had you not started to step outside your comfort zone and explore your voice in a more natural and authentic way.
Yeah, for me it's a complete outlet, and for me it's my total self-indulgence, for me only. Like I say, nobody has my voice, nobody feels what I feel when I sing. Yeah. And even if you don't kind of receive my message the way I'm sending it out, the important thing for me is that I'm feeling every part of what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
And so when I come into the studio and do a lesson like that, that's just total me time. And you know, like you say, if I don't become like a signed artist, that's fine. It's not my goal.
Yeah.
My goal is to continue on this exploration of my voice, become a better singer, become a much better communicator and performer. And the more I appreciate my voice, number one, appreciate the voice I have, and, you know, further develop the voice that I do have where I want to go, then I have confidence that my voice will deliver what it is I want it to deliver. Therefore, I can perform. Therefore, I will perform more, and then I become a more confident artist delivering a message to an audience.
Okay, and let's take that one step deeper again. In your daily life, in your job, do you think finding your identity in singing, as singing being the medium that you use to do that, do you think that that has helped your work and your social life, if that makes sense?
I mean, it is so much more than music.
Yeah.
It is.
I keep saying Joshua came up with that byline. I'm really annoyed that I didn't think of it first.
This has been a complete, like, personal journey. Music and my singing voice is just such a small part of it. Like, I think I have, and, you know, people would say probably as well that I've settled into myself a lot more in recent years, because I have explored my voice, accepted my voice, used it and enjoyed it. And therefore, I am a more confident person. I'm confident in my communication. I'm confident to talk about my emotions, and even if it's just through a song, you know. But that's my outlet. So if that's going to help me, then it's definitely going to help others. So there's no doubt it has affected positively my personal life, my work life, and it's all the time improving. You know, as I develop.
So going back to your classical training as well, and part of the SLS was very much rule-based and structured and no mistakes. And then you walk into the studio where it's all about, please make mistakes so we can figure out who you really are, your true, natural, authentic sound, and what you want to express. One of the things that I think that people are afraid to do is make mistakes, but also in singing, and I did this mistake of being so perfect with the words that I'm singing that I lose the emotion, even though I'm feeling it inside. I'm not putting anything across. So actually it's about singing sometimes imperfectly to adjust the sound, or using your vocal sound and your vocal nuances more to get the emotion across and to more connect with that song. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely when I come into the studio with Josh and when I'm in the studio with you, you know, I have to be very conscious, because I can very easily slip into the, as you would describe, a very pretty sound, which is okay sometimes, but
it's a mask.
Yeah. 99% of the time, it's not a pretty sound that I'm communicating whatever I'm singing. Yeah. So, you know, to strip that back and to do like improvisation, I mean, it was so hard. It's still hard, you know, but I accept it more that it's good for me to do. At the start, I found that so difficult. I was so outside.
The task or the mistakes, or the permission to make mistakes?
It's the permission to make mistakes, and it's hearing sounds come out that you don't like. And it's part of this accepting that it's grand, keep going. Yeah.
It's getting to know your own voice and your own sound as well, because I have so many students that, I can't sing high notes, and then you get them a high note or a loud note, they don't realise their own volume. And then when you work on like their chest voice and their sound is suddenly bigger, you can see them going, oh. Yeah. And a lot of time for girls, they have this psychological issue or thing that, not an issue, but a thing that you're supposed to sound pretty all the time.
Yeah,
but life isn't pretty.
I know.
And like emotions, they're not always pretty, but they're real.
Yeah, but it's also this kind of choir sort of sound that you should just sound kind of blend, you know, into the background. And actually, you know, I was quite happy just singing, as I described, very straight. Yeah. Not any emotion, and just singing the song from start to finish was the aim, as opposed to singing it with intention and singing it to say something. Yeah. So that journey of like just make mistakes, figure it out, you know, was so loose for me at the start. I was like really uncomfortable, and you know, because even in my work life, everything is very structured in my life. Yes. You know, music is probably the only thing that's not structured. You know, so I find that really hard.
But in a structured way at the same time.
Yeah, because there's actually intent and reason behind everything we do in the studio. It's not like, you know, that it's loosely structured, you know.
Yeah, so like, so as Josh said, what areas do you need to work on? And you look at this, this and this, but the actual fact, you need to work on the letting go.
Yeah, I need to work on myself.
Yeah, the letting go of the mask as well that people put up for singing with that pretty voice and that structured sound, and like let all that go, and then who is the real person inside. And that has probably been your big journey.
And the biggest thing is, you know, that I'm good enough. I have my own voice, and like I'm worth it. I have the self-worth to do this for myself. Especially
maybe coming from your background as being judged as a twin all the time and as a pair, that individually you're worth it.
And I think I've gotten, I suppose, to explore that more as we grew up, you know, just naturally, like we were physically in different places, our personalities developed, and I think, you know, it's very easy for people to judge people like as a pair or as a family or as a team. You know, even in work I see people judging teams according to their work, you know, whereas they all have individual personalities and different styles of how they achieve what they achieve. So for me it's been like very emotional.
Always is.
Very emotional, but like such a sense of release and relief. You know, and I still get that, even though, you know, I arguably have come a long way, but I still get that sense of release and relief. But for me, I'm like, this is just the start, you know, because people think, oh, you've been training for a few years, like, you know, when does it end? For me, I'm like, it never ends.
It doesn't.
It couldn't possibly.
As soon as you reach the level, there's another level to go, and the levels don't end.
And like, I was doing so great, and then like, you know, you open up this whole other jar of things that I can do, and I'm like, not even near that level.
And you become at the bottom of the level, I suppose, again. And sometimes it's intimidating, I suppose.
Absolutely,
But just going to go back again, one more step. So for people who are new to singing, looking to explore their voice, don't know what their sound is, unsure of how they feel about their voice, because obviously you've taken a long time to accept your voice, that it's okay, it's good. So for people who come in and maybe be daunted by the idea of hearing their voice or making mistakes, maybe daunted by the idea of even trying to emotionally connect to a song, or even giving themselves the time to, out of their daily life, their hectic life, why would I go and do singing? Like, you have your full busy business, so why would you give yourself the time to even go and explore that? So you've nothing to say to the beginners?
I think give it a go. I think you should allow yourself that outlet. For me, it was like, just relax, enjoy it. Because actually, like, when you say, you know, that you're training, or you're teaching, or I'm studying, like, it all sounds like work. It's not. It's not. I walk in there and I enjoy that hour thoroughly. You know, and then I go away and I have lots more things to do, and I will see you next week and you will see my improvements. It's not work, it's not hard. You know,
emotionally it might be hard.
And I think
that transfer.
I think if you come in with an open mind, like, because I didn't come in with an open mind.
It's okay.
But I didn't, because I was.
The important thing is to come in. It's the first step.
I would say to anybody, give it a go and discover your own voice, because I don't have your voice and you don't have mine. So enjoy what you have. And just go on the journey wherever you want to go. And I think sometimes people think like, oh, but I don't want to be like Beyonce.
A lot of people don't know why they're doing singing lessons. But in a way, you probably don't know why you started to do singing lessons.
No, I think it was just something that I wanted to come back to at some point. And even now, it's not.
You felt that you needed to come back to.
For me, it's like something I look forward to. It is definitely an outlet for all sorts of things that's going on in my life and in my head. You know, and that's just through the medium of song and through my voice. So I think nobody should judge anybody. I think come in, do it yourself, and enjoy it, you know.
There you go. Thank you, Laura.
Okay.
I think it's good for people to hear the different journeys that people go through with their singing, And especially like, I think that you do sometimes, a lot of our new singers would go, oh, well, I don't want to be Beyonce, so maybe I shouldn't do singing. But actually it's not about that at all.
No.
And it really is finding your own little niche and figuring out who you are in your singing, and so that can transfer into other aspects of your life as well. And really about finding your own identity, especially for all the moms and dads out there who maybe have lost that. And a lot of the time, it's funny because people always ask me, like when people ring me up on the phone, oh, is singing just for like the 16-year-olds?
Yeah, I know.
I have more students that are adults, to be quite honest, adults and older ones coming back to singing. It's obviously something that they've done earlier like you did, and then came away from it. And actually I did the same thing, did it earlier, came away from it, and then came back to it and found it again. So it's something that I would highly recommend people to maybe check out. And there's no judgment on anybody coming to the studio, and a lot of the times people are surprised by their own voice, I think. As you were when you definitely got out of doing all the strict structure training, and then this other sound comes out. So it's good. So thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to add?
Just be bold and do it, and appreciate what you have. That's the most important thing.
That might take practice for a lot of people.
Yeah, but that's
Appreciation.
okay. Appreciation, yeah.
Thank you very much.